Hi, it's Gab, back with my guest you all know and love, Lori.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
First, one order of business. I have to direct our viewers to the You Reviewers Awards, which are now up, starting with part 1 on Jeremy John's channel. It's the awards that the YouTube critics did, and it's awesome, so please check that out. The You Reviewers Awards, part 1's on Jeremy John's channel.
Excellent.
Now, that might be the best part of this video because we're reviewing...
Oh, do I have to say what it is?
You can say the name of the movie.
It's so embarrassing. Okay, Hall Pass.
Hall Pass, the new Farrelly Brothers comedy starring Owen Wilson, Jason Sudeikis, Christina Applegate, Jenna Fisher. You want to explain the premise?
Boy, she's good. Okay, Hall Pass does not have anything to do with the high school Hall Pass.
No.
Get it? No. Apparently, it's couples who allow their spouse to have a Hall Pass, which is a week off of marriage.
Yeah.
Good idea. Bad idea.
Meaning
sexually, anything goes.
Well, yeah.
You are not married for that week.
Sanctioned by the spouse in order to let the other spouse get things out of his
or
system,
her
or hers
system,
and hopefully otherwise save the marriage because don't ask, don't tell. What happens on Hall Pass stays on Hall Pass.
Yes. All right. Fair enough.
So it's the two couples, and this is really started by the Jenna Fisher, Owen Wilson couple.
Yes.
She thinks that he has a wandering eye, he's too distracted by sex. They have a few kids, they've been married for a while, yada yada. So that's kind of a typical scenario.
Right.
And so she, and also the other couple, they're best friends, the other couple does it as well, decide break, wives go away, guys can do whatever they want. And that's the premise, pretty simple, and potentially could have a lot of fun and hijinks with it, especially a comedy. I think it's rated, I'm not sure what it's rated, but it's not for younger people.
No,
so
it's not. No.
It has the potential to be raunchy and do all sorts of crazy things.
Yes, it could be quite silly. And
it could be. Was it? I mean, okay, primarily, did you find it funny?
I did find it funny. I must admit, I did find it funny, and I didn't want to, but I didn't want to.
And she was going to say there's...
I said, should I laugh at this?
Because it's a bit, I don't know, sexist or whatever. I mean, the premise is not for the most PC kind of people.
No.
And it's a bit sexist in a way. Well, it's the typical, men are pigs, women are these hard done by wives.
Yes.
Everybody is trying to sort of get a little something. If they could, they would. So, it's not exactly the most sophisticated of concepts.
True, but here's where I'm going to blow
But
her
some funny
mind.
parts. You're going to blow my mind.
I'm about to blow her mind. I found it very sad. I found it very, I won't say close to home, but getting close to home.
I'm happily married. You're happily unmarried.
I'm happily unmarried, yes.
But you have been married.
Yeah, I have been.
I think people can relate whether you're married or not. It's basic relationship issues when you're in a long-term relationship.
But what I found sad was, first of all, Owen Wilson looks like he's 60 years old.
He's aged.
And
he's not.
I was a little taken aback as to
if he ever was.
I never really thought he was.
Yeah.
But I was a little taken aback, and
But that was good. The characters seemed
real. They were real.
Ish.
But the references to getting older and how his children were teasing him about age and things, I got to thinking, oh dear.
And the way the women felt about themselves,
And the way the women felt about themselves, it was like,
even though we're 25.
Exactly. 11.
I can imagine how I might feel.
How they might feel, yes. But it was...
Not everything's in the place it used to be in, and, guys maybe used to look at you, maybe don't really anymore.
We don't know, right? So it was like how they were portrayed. Like the poor women felt like they weren't being looked at.
Yeah.
The men were looking at everything else, and it made me kind of sad thinking, that's real.
But that's real. It is.
That's real.
So that's a compliment in a way.
Yes.
But it's also kind of strange thing to say about something that's really supposed to be a raunchy comedy. So did that interfere with the comedy for you?
No.
I still got the other
fun.
side of it, which
I
is
still
it's a
got
Farrelly
the fun.
Brothers.
Yes.
There were two, what I said to you, OMG moments. I'm not a priss, and there were two different things that were like,
had I had a camera on her face and put it here,
I was like,
it would have won Hollywood Awards.
Yeah.
Your face and the expressions that came out of her mouth were unbelievable.
So there was some, and then there was just some sort of more basic kind of laughs.
Yes.
I have to say though, for something that could have been a real sex romp comedy,
it didn't go there.
Far enough.
It didn't go far enough. It did not go where you figured by the titled.
There was almost no actual sex scenes. Like, I'm just saying that if that's what you're expecting. I'm not saying that's bad or whatever, but it could have and probably should have gone in a lot of directions that it didn't.
It didn't go where it should have.
Yeah, it didn't go far enough.
It fell short of...
Like, those oh my god moments really had nothing to do with the story. They were just sort of random throw-in things. You could say gratuitous.
But I love them just from her reaction, all right?
I think I reacted to those moments because the whole movie, I was really waiting for a lot more, oh my god, jaw-dropping, scandalous stuff, which isn't really there.
It's not there.
There's a lot of chuckles.
There's some good laughs, never mind chuckles. There really were.
And there was, as you say, there's some other things if you want to that you can think about that are less comedy related that you could sort of make you think a little bit.
That's right.
But there isn't really enough for that either. I feel quite neutral about this movie. I didn't hate it. It's not terrible. I'm sure a lot of critics will tear it to shreds.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I was amused. I was amused.
The characters were real. That was nice for once.
Yeah.
For once, I saw real people.
Caricatures. They were surrounded by caricatures. Like there'll be there's some extreme, like the neighbors, the crazy neighbors, and which of course, and then you've got the guys have their little sort of gang of buddies who aren't the most nuanced characters. They're
There's
just
a word, nuanced. I love it.
To serve their purposes. Thank you.
Sure.
I try to elevate.
I was elevated,
especially for these kind of reviews.
See you go.
So all the typical sort of comedy Farrelly Brothers stuff is in there. It's not to the level of, I mean, are you a fan of Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber?
Yes. Dumb and Dumber,
those classics?
no, but Something About Mary, yes.
Yeah. That story really has heart to it, and I think
does.
this movie has a bit of heart, but maybe not.
It fell short.
Or the story's not
fell short
strong
of
enough.
expectations.
There's a lot of places that just sort of don't quite resolve, or they don't make the most of different sort of little things.
They should have made more of the situation.
Something sort of drop off, and there's a very funny thing where they have a week off, so it's like day 1. Day 2, like it's sort of counting down.
Oh, this was great.
Which is funny, but sometimes it's like already it's day 4, and it's like, what's really happened? Nothing.
Well, that's kind of the whole point.
It's kind of the whole point because they're scared, right? Like they want this freedom, and then
they get it. They go,
yeah.
What do I do with it? It's 9 o'clock. It's bedtime. You know. Hello.
They are sort of caricaturizing guys, but there is always an element to truth. Always in satire, right?
There is.
So we had to sort of roll our eyes because maybe reminded us of a few
Is that why my eyes hurt?
A few guys. My eyes hurt from going boing at those 2 parts.
Oh, the 2. Oh, you were. Oh.
And your favorite funny part was Lori learned a new word. Well,
I learned something about like Chinese food. Not sure. Yes, I am.
Fake chow. Has anyone heard of
this? Please, there are some bizarre things.
There are some educational things in this movie.
Who knew?
Actually, you know who was my favorite? Richard Jenkins has a cameo towards the end. He's the old leathery stud guy. And he is hilarious. That was actually my favorite part. He's just like been there, done that, ladies man.
12 times.
And he can like look at a woman across the bar and like know what's in her purse and and she's gonna get up in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And he's like the guru. He's the wizard of women.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of funny. I maybe would have liked a bit more of that.
Yeah, that would have been fun to have him through the whole movie.
Yeah. So he really stood out for me. And the rest of it, it
fell short.
Fine.
That's the best thing I can say. Fell short.
It did. It could have been better.
We could have done better.
We could have personally done better.
We could have.
I don't want to introduce a hall pass into my life.
I don't think that's.
But I'll go to a bar with you and watch you try to pick up.
Well, that sounds fair. Does that sound fair?
I'll be your wingman.
Are we videotaping this?
Anyway, how many Lories?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah. Respectable.
It's respectable.
Yeah. I think I'd give it 3.25.
Okay, fair.
So, if you like that kind of movie, it'll be for you.
And I think even if you don't, it's not as much as the other movies.
Yeah, it's not as offensive as you might think it's going to be.
Yeah.
So if someone else wants you to go with them, it probably wouldn't kill you.
No.
Or rent it. I mean, that's about as much as I can say about that.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I like it.
Well, thank you, as always, for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me.
Usually, we've always done, like, supernatural, spooky movies together.
Yeah,
so this is the first comedy. So
that's right.
We'll,
maybe a spooky one will come up soon.
Something's always coming up.
I know.
That sounds like...
Oh, that's part of the movie.
Yeah. No comment. You will join me again.
I will, absolutely.
No hall pass from this relationship.
No way.
Thanks for watching, as always.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.